known as the Big Redhead. In 1977, Bill Walton led the Portland Trailblazers to their only NBA championship. Walton could do it all: score, rebound, and pass. But injury hastened Walton's departure, and it will be 13 years before Portland returned to the finals. In the 90s, the Blazer team is the sum of its parts. Drexler, Porter, Duckworth, and Kersey fought their way to last season's finals. And in 1991, Portland sports the NBA's best record. Today, they encounter the mystique of the Boston Garden, where Celtic youth has invigorated Larry Bird and company for another championship campaign. It's the Celtics and the Blazers in a meeting of the best records from the East and the West, next on NBC.
This is the NBA on NBC. Today, it's the Portland Trailblazers versus the Boston Celtics.
Welcome to the Boston Garden, a capacity crowd close to 15,000 on hand. The 482nd consecutive sellout for the Celtics, who at 42-15 have the top record of the Eastern Conference, with Chicago's loss last night. Boston now a half game in front, while Portland at 44-14, despite their recent difficulties, have the best overall record in the NBA. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Mike Fratello. Now, 1 point this season, Portland was 11-0, 19-1, 26-3. They have faltered recently with the 4 straight losses. But, Mike, why the problems aside from the difficulty of winning on the road?
Certainly not a disgrace, losing to San Antonio twice, at Atlanta, who's won 21 in a row at home, and Philly, who has 7 straight wins at this time. But 2 areas where Portland has excelled the entire season have suddenly abandoned them. The three-point shot, where they've taken the most attempts in the league and made the best percentage of three-pointers, suddenly not shooting very well behind the stripe. And then normally a driving, slashing team that gets to the foul line, they just aren't shooting many free throws lately.
And for Boston, it's been a case of when Larry Bird and Kevin McHale have been able to shed injuries, they are among the NBA's elite clubs. But when they've been injured, which has happened from time to time this season, it's been a different story. But today, both Bird and McHale are in the lineup.
Almost 2 months went by without having Larry and Kevin together in the lineup. The perfect inside-outside combination Boston has. But with McHale out, only Robert Parrish to go down low, teams could double down much easier. And then Bird not hitting his outside shot, struggling from the perimeter, cost them their perimeter game. When Bird's shooting well, Boston wins big.
All right, Mike, now let's go to a man who has brought sideline reporting to state-of-art status. Here's Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Bob. In terms of injuries, with the exception of Mark Bryant, the Portland Trailblazers are very healthy. What the Celtics is concerned is with Kevin McHale's ankle. I talked to Kevin before the game. He said that all week long, Chris Ford has been looking at him like he's crazy trying to play on that ankle. But he says it doesn't matter. People think I'm crazy anyway. I will play. But it is his return to the Boston Garden of Danny Ainge. Now, Danny Ainge is a player who is normally booed in visiting arenas around the NBA, but not here. He is a fan favorite. I asked him how special is it to come back here and play. He said it's very special because I always enjoy busting Boston.
All right, Ahmad, and while Danny Ainge hopes to do damage to his former club, they obviously still love him here in Boston. Welcome back to the Boston Garden as we get set for the first meeting of the season between the Celtics and the Trailblazers. Portland with Jerome Kersey and Buck Williams up front. The center, the 7-footer from Easton, Illinois, Kevin Duckworth. And at the guards, Clyde the Glide Drexler and Terry Porter, 3 All-Stars in that group, along with the All-Star coach, Rick Adelman, an original Trailblazer, the team's first captain. And the Boston Celtics with Larry Bird and Kevin Gamble. Gamble, a one-time Portland Trailblazer. They're at the forward positions. The center is Robert Parrish. And at the guards, Brian Shaw and Reggie Lewis. And the coach of the Celtics, Chris Ford. The officials, Ed T. Rush, Steve Jaffe, and Jim Kinsey. As Parrish on the opening tip with Kersey, sees it controlled by Porter of Portland. Drexler, played by Lewis. And Buck Williams with the jump hook has given Portland a 2-0 lead. We'll be back to the Celtics and Portland in just a moment. Right now, we go to NBC News for this update from Mary Alice Williams.
Just about an hour ago at 9:50 in the morning Mountain Time, a United Airlines 737 jet on landing approach to Colorado Springs Municipal Airport crashed about 2 miles short of the runway near the town of Widefield, Colorado. Police tell us there were 20 passengers aboard along with a crew of 5, and that was on United Flight 585 originating in Peoria, Illinois, flying through Moline, then Denver, and on its way to Colorado Springs. The plane, according to witnesses, narrowly missed a complex of apartments and crashed nose down into a dry lake bed and then disintegrated. One witness said he saw no pieces of debris larger than a suitcase. Police Sergeant John White says it appears no one survived the crash. NBC News will keep you up to date on developments. Marv?
Thank you, Mary Alice. And back in Boston, the game is now tied at 4 on field goals by Parrish and Shaw for the Celtics. Duckworth, along with Buck Williams, which you saw. And Parrish able to get to it. Here's Bird from downtown. Rebounded by Reggie Lewis. And Boston leads 6-4.
At the defensive end of the floor, the Celtics have come out very aggressive against Portland. One of the things they wanted to establish was the fact that the Trailblazers are a streaky team. Let's take them out of their stuff early in the game. They didn't seem to go one-on-one and stop their excellent ball movement.
Jerome Kersey has tied the game at 6. Friday night here in Boston, the Celtics beat San Antonio. They came back from a 17-point deficit to make a 2 straight wins. Celtics came out flat, and they heard it from Chris Ford. Oh, what a pass. And Parrish able to put it down. Larry Bird with a gorgeous pass. Chris Ford was very upset with the Boston performance in that first half, and then they turned it around and took command in the second half.
Yes, and coinciding with that was the fact that Larry shot only 3 for 13 the first half, 7 for 12 in the second half. Perimeter game got it going for the Celtics.
Loose ball foul. It's on Gamble. That is his first. So Portland takes over. Boston with an 8-6 lead. Friday night at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. The Trailblazers lost to the 76ers 121-111. And as you mentioned earlier, nice move by Porter. And the game is tied at 8. Portland went 0 for 13 from 3-point range. Look out. Brian Shaw, off that move on the follow-through, is shaken up.
Looks like a bad ankle down there, Mark.
Duckworth and both clubs shooting well here at the start. A 22nd timeout has been taken by the Celtics. The game is tied at 10 with 3:15 gone by in the first quarter.
It's tough to see right there as Shaw comes down whether or not he lands on someone else's ankle or whether he just turns his over. But he grabs it immediately on the outside. You can see where the turn took place.
All right, here's another look at it. Watch the bottom of your screen.
Right there, he lands on, lands on the ankle of Porter, turning it over to the outside.
Ryan Shaw, first-round pick of the Celtics 2 years ago. Had a solid season, making the NBA's all-rookie team, and then signed with Gil Messagetto of the Italian League, played in Italy following some contractual controversy. He's back, and he has played exceptionally well.
Kevin McHale said earlier that if there's one guy that should make the All-Star team representing the Celtics in our turnaround, this is the guy that might be most responsible, Brian Shaw.
And Brian Shaw headed back to the dressing room. As soon as we get a report, we'll pass it on. Brian Shaw played 45 minutes against San Antonio on Friday night. Did not shoot well, 2 for 11, but 9 rebounds and 13 assists.
Once again, on the drive, Porter sliding underneath. As he comes down, he just catches Porter's left foot, turns that ankle over.
The rookie from Jacksonville, D. Brown, has replaced Brian Shaw. Bird for Parrish. Recovered by Brown. Nice look by Lewis. And Robert Parrish has given the Celtics a 12-10 lead.
And very similar to the Trailblazers, when the Celtics have good ball movement and they sustain that type of thing, they're a tough team to beat. When they stop, go one-on-one, too many guys want to post up, and they're not as effective.
Here's a post-up move that is turned back. Buck Williams on the follow. Brown met by Drexler and lost it.
A little shove that time to help him out of bounds by Drexler on the way to the basket, as D. Brown seemed to be turning the corner on him.
Celtics with a 12-10 lead. And here's pressure by Brown.
And D. Brown was one of the people responsible for turning that game around on Friday night against San Antonio. When he entered the game, they extended the man-to-man defense, put more pressure on, lowered the shooting percentage of the Spurs.
Buck Williams forcing the issue. Drexler. There's a forced shot by Clyde, but Buck Williams able to tie it at 12.
And there's a concerted effort on the glass by the Trailblazers. Walking into the arena this morning, Buck Williams said, one area that we know we're good at is rebounding. We've been out-rebounded 3 out of the last 4 games. We've got to get after it on the glass.
And the Celtic coach is telling us as Bird fires that they must get Portland out of their rhythm early.
Meaning that they're a streaky team. They can run 12, 14 points off against you. You've got to play aggressive defense, take them out of that type of thing.
Buck Williams. Drexler. Nice effort, but kicked it out. And a timeout being taken by the Blazers.
Portland, who will beat you up on the offensive boards with a first, second, and even third shot if you don't keep your body on them. Sometimes the ball just happens to fall in your hands.
5 minutes gone by in the first.
Right.
Back in Boston, Portland and Boston tied at 12, 6:56 to go in this first quarter. Moments ago, Brian Shaw, the Celtic point guard, went down, looked to twist his ankle. Let's go to Ahmad, who has a report on the Shaw situation.
Well, Marv, Brian has obviously sprained an ankle. He is now being worked on in the training room. We haven't found out exactly the extent of that injury, but we'll be here, and as soon as we find out, we'll get back to you with that information.
All right, Ahmad, and there is Larry Bird, who I would think with the departure of Brian Shaw may take on a bit of a different role.
A big concern now, D. Brown, the only true point guard. Perhaps what you do is run your offense through Larry Bird, kind of set him up as the guy who passes and gets them into their half-court game.
And Bird is off to a slow start. He's 0 for 3 Friday night against the Spurs. As you mentioned, he opened up 3 for 13 in the first half, but he kept shooting and then hit 7 of his next 8. Gamble kicks it out to Brown and rebounded by Drexler. Bird's philosophy is the only time he's surprised is when he misses. Chris Ford says that he never tells Bird not to shoot, although he will yell at him if he takes a bad shot.
But as Larry said, I don't see any bad shots.
Ron Kersey has 4, and the Trailblazers take a 14-12 lead. Lewis played by Drexler. Now Parrish over Duckworth. Last season, Portland swept the season series. They took the 2 games from Boston for the first time in franchise history. Nice play as Porter found the wide-open Kersey, and the Blazers lead at 16-12.
You have to be careful for sudden pick and rolls, meaning as the ball's coming down for Portland, one of the big men steps up, sets a screen, and either Drexler or Portland takes it off him to the basket.
Celtics have missed their last 5 shot attempts. Here come the Trailblazers. Celtics able to get back. Drexler on the follow, and it's 18-12 Portland.
Clyde Drexler, one of the better rebounding, particularly offensive rebounding guards in the NBA. You must keep a body up against him.
Larry Bird over the years has had his difficulties against Buck Williams. Lewis, yes. 18-14 Portland.
The reason why Larry making the initial or the early game perimeter shots is important to him, because of the back problems, it's restricted his mobility. Normally, a guy like Buck Williams, he would be able to take him off the dribble. Right now, it's not that easy, so he's got to establish that outside game to bring Buck up closer to him.
Out of 5 on the shot clock. Kersey from deep. And here comes D. Brown. Brown and Lewis at the guards. Bird, Parrish, Gamble up front. Gamble works off the pick. Yes. Won't count. Will not get the bucket. The foul call before the shot attempt. And you hear the reaction from the crowd. Instead, it's a non-shooting affair.
As Gamble comes around the screen set by Bird, there's a switch by Buck, and there's the foul right there before he is in the act of shooting. A good call by the official.
And the foul on the Celtics as Buck Williams was hit to the floor by Reggie Lewis.
In the last 2 games, the Trailblazers have had 8 more field goals against Atlanta and 10 more field goals against Philadelphia, and just aren't getting to the free throw line enough times to make up the difference. Against Atlanta, 45 attempts for the Hawks, 15 for the Trailblazers from the foul line.
Gamble all the way. So the Celtics move within 2 with 3:50 remaining in this opening quarter. The rejection by Reggie Lewis. Parrish from Brown.
When have you seen a big guy, particularly a 37-year-old big man, run the floor as well as Robert Parrish? He may be playing his best basketball this season.
Game tied at 18. A wild shot by Kersey off to the good start. He has 8, and the Trailblazers lead it by 2. And Williams not giving Larry Bird any daylight.
No, he's up tight against him because he knows Larry's having a tough time putting the ball down the floor, getting away from him.
Boston with 11 on the shot clock. Here's Bird. And the foul is called.
He's so good at reading the defense, freeing himself. When he's got his stroke going, he's just so tough to play.
Buck Williams collecting his second. And that is the first point of the day for Larry Bird, who is an 88% free throw shooter. Here's Cliff Robinson checking in.
This entire Celtic team, an outstanding free throw shooting team, almost shooting 83% as a team from the free throw line. There is no one to foul on this team.
Cliff Robinson, second-year player from the University of Connecticut, replacing Buck Williams, who leads with 4. Game tied at 20 with just under 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. And the foul call. All right, let's get back to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Marv, it has been confirmed that Bryant has sprained his right ankle. It's going to be, we don't know if he's going to come back and play. They're going to reevaluate it at halftime. They don't know the extent of the injury. He may be able to come back and play. Then again, he may not. We will find out and get back to you at halftime. Marv?
All right, Ahmad, game tied at 20 with 2:52 to go in this first quarter.
Miller Genuine Draft presents #1 draft choices.
And today's #1 draft pick in the spotlight, Buck Williams of Portland. He had a stellar career for the University of Maryland, a member of the U.S. Olympic team selected by the New Jersey Nets. Buck, the Rookie of the Year in the NBA in '82, beating out Isaiah Thomas. He is the Nets' all-time leader in points and rebounds, and came to the Trailblazers in a deal for Sam Bowie and a #1 draft pick. A reminder, at the end of today's broadcast, we'll be selecting the Miller Genuine Draft Player of the Game. And ovations for the one-time Boston Celtic, Danny Ainge. Very warm reception. Danny has spent 7.5 years with Boston, then dealt to Sacramento, then on to Portland. Porter not able to hit, and a loose ball foul has been called. It's against the Celtics. Kevin McHale has checked in for the first time. He made his return Friday night, coming off the sprained ankle, and played 16 minutes against San Antonio. McHale called for the foul. Kevin went 4 for 8 from the floor, and his return a surprise even to coach Chris Ford.
And surprising that he played 16 minutes as Drexler misses the drive to the basket. On the floor right now, the old front line of the Boston Celtics, perhaps a Hall of Fame front line. 38 years of experience with those three guys, only 28 combined for the rest of the team.
Double team on Bird. Ainge got caught on a switch and then received help. Foul called on Ainge. Celtics and Blazers tied at 20 with 2:20 remaining in this first quarter. Danny Ainge did face the Celtics twice last season as a member of the Sacramento Kings. I asked him about it before the game. He said the game here he'd like to forget about. McHale hits, and the foul. Cliff Robinson called for the personal.
Watch as Portland tries to double team. They don't get there quick enough. He splits the double team. Kevin McHale up and in, possibly a three-point play. If you're going to double team him down low, you got to get that lead leg under control so he can't split you.
By virtue of the three-point play by McHale, Boston 23 and Portland 20. Duckworth backing Parrish and hitting. Beautiful move by Kevin Duckworth to bring Portland within one.
Kevin Duckworth, one of those new era centers that does a lot of facing up, shooting that mid-range jump shot, shows us his post-up game back to the basket.
And that is a traveling violation on Reggie Lewis.
Many times Duckworth will step back after a pick and roll and shoot the face-up jumper. Here he takes Parrish down low and uses the little jump hook against Robert, turning to the baseline.
Backcourt of Porter and Ainge. Portland up front with Drexler, Robinson, and Duckworth. Ainge comes off the pick. Here's Robinson. Yes. Cliff Robinson giving the Portland Trailblazers a 24-23 advantage.
While the Trailblazers have struggled the last 4 games, Cliff Robinson has been very consistent. He's played well for them off the bench. He gives them great versatility because he plays so many positions.
McHale. Bird on the tip. Parrish. And it's Boston by 1 with 1 minute to go in this first quarter. Porter allowed to penetrate and threw it out. Crowd wanted to travel. Porter from downtown. So the Trailblazers going 0 for 13 on Friday night from three-point land against the Philadelphia 76ers. Able to convert here. Bird fires. Yes. The game is tied at 27. Reggie Lewis off the steal. Boston by 2.
I think everybody kind of looked up that time for the Trailblazers and said, why are we trying to hit Kevin with the ball about 35 feet from the basket? Not a real good decision that time by Cliff Robinson.
Danny Ainge talking about the Sacramento King performance here in Boston last year. Ainge said he'd like to forget about that one. Hits one right here. Although Ainge had a very good game against the Celtics in Sacramento last year. 39 points against his former club. Final seconds of the first quarter. McHale from deep. And time runs out. After 1 here at the Boston Garden. The best of the East matched up with the best of the West. And they are tied at 29.
inside the last 24 seconds in the NBA. They turn off the 24-second clock, which is located up above the backboard. You need to know, the entire team, that you have to look in the Boston Garden in the low left-hand corner for how much time is left. Next year, a change in the NBA rules. In every arena, there will be a game clock over the top of the backboard, which will enable the players to have it in their sight the entire time.
Yes, peripheral vision stretched a bit in this type situation here in Boston. Ed Pinckney has come on for the first time. Danny Young on the floor, along with Wayne Cooper. Both clubs making changes as we get started here in the second. Reggie Lewis has given the Celtics a 31-29 lead. Portland is led by as many as 6. Celtics led by 3 at one point. So Eage and Young now in the backcourt. A forced shot and a bad one by the Glide. Drexler knocking it out of bounds, setting the Celtics a backcourt of D. Brown and Reggie Lewis up front. Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Ed Pinckney. Oh, Robert Parrish sitting down. Here's McHale putting the move on Cooper, and he's fouled.
And Kevin McHale will change how he makes his offensive move to the basket. Sometimes he holds a little bit longer, reads to see if they're double teaming. Other times, as this particular time, he goes quickly, doesn't give the Trailblazers a chance to get back there and double team him.
McHale, an 83% free throw shooter. Celtics lead it 33-29. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Ahmad Rashad from the Boston Garden. Usual capacity crowd on hand, close to 15,000. Drexler again from deep. That is his second field goal, but he's only 2 for 7.
What Rick Adelman has done right now, he's put a smaller group on the floor. Drexler is now the small forward for this team as D. Brown knocks out a jumper. And what he's saying right now is who's going to guard Drexler off the dribble. We have to get him the basketball, let him operate off the dribble against the guy who's a little bit bigger, not quite as agile. Here's the isolation again against Pinckney.
And Drexler stripped. Brown hit on a reach-in by Young.
Off the dribble, he's too quick for Pink. Team defense, McHale closing down to look at the basket. Pinckney getting it from behind on the block certainly helps out.
Ed Pinckney putting in some valuable time. Played well on that recent West Coast trip as Bird was stripped by Drexler. Goes all the way. Spectacular end-to-end move by Clyde Drexler to bring the Portland Trailblazers within 2. Matchup is now Drexler on Bird. Here's McHale off the double team. Young came over to help out. Kevin McHale with 7 points. Boston by 4. Robinson going baseline through a wild reverse. No-look pass attempted by Bird. 3-on-2. Drexler again. Clyde Drexler. 37-35 Boston.
Portland coming back with a little bit of their own transition game early. First quarter, 10 fast break points for the Celtics, only 2 for the Trailblazers. This is a running fast break team once they get it off the glass and they can get going.
There's Bird bumping with Robinson. Last touch by Robinson. Now Jerome Kersey has checked in for the first time. A timeout being called. You see Clyde Drexler with the strip of Larry Bird. He has taken over the play here the last minute and a half. And now the fast break keyed by Robinson. Here's Drexler putting the move over McHale to hit. Timeout called. We'll be back in a moment.
On every trip you take in a Chevrolet, hundreds of hours and millions of dollars have been spent to help make it a safer one. In fact, there are more MDs and PhDs working for your safety than any other car company in the world. So if this looks like an uneventful trip, we worked hard to make it that way. Mile after mile, more people are winning with
The heartbeat of America. That's today's show. Because after working out, you don't want to fill up. So reach for the Silver Bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Talking about Coors Light, it's the right beer now. Pour it on and work it out.
Dad,
Yeah.
where do babies come from?
Under specific ovulatory circumstances, a male-female interface may generate an incipient life form that over a 9-month...
At the Prudential, we believe some things can't be explained with a lot of fancy talk. So when it comes to life insurance...
Should I explain that once more?
We won't let you get it until you've got it. Your piece of the rock.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Today's Chevrolet, who invites you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. By First Brands Corporation, makers of STP gas treatment. And by Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
Welcome back to Boston. A very mild 57-degree day here in Boston, Massachusetts. Larry Bird, who was quoted recently as saying, it isn't as easy for me now as it was back in 84, 85, and 86. I felt I could do anything. Now it is completely different.
I get the same exact feeling.
Yes.
I know what Larry's talking about. It's not as easy for me anymore.
In all phases of life, Mike. And Larry Bird off to a slow start. Another turnover, that's 5, committed by Boston.
Larry only shooting 1 for 5 thus far in the game. Remember, the other night against San Antonio, 3 for 13 in the first half, but then lit him up in the second half.
Boston by 2 with 3 minutes gone by, second quarter. Ainge played well by Lewis. And Bird outlets to Brown. Trailblazers get back. Ryan Shaw went out early in the first quarter with a sprained ankle. Lewis for D. Brown as a result of the Shaw injury, seeing quite a bit of playing time. Kersey, who just checked back in. Ainge and Young in the backcourt. Robinson up front with Cooper and Kersey. Here's Robinson, rebounded by McHale. The Boston Celtics 42-15. They lead the Atlantic Division. 9.5 over the 76ers from downtown. McHale not able to hit.
Kevin likes the idea of getting those three-pointers up there occasionally. Already this season, he's taken 29 three-point attempts.
Danny Ainge with a three-pointer. Portland, until recently, going at a blistering pace from downtown. They've hit 2 today. This coming off a slump in that department as of late. Here's Bird. Oh, he is way off. Heard the moans from the crowd.
That's one of those shots that Chris Ford was talking about that he feels Larry could probably get a better one.
Kersey. And last touch by McHale. On the subject of Kevin McHale, last season he discovered the joys of three-point shooting. You mentioned his success this year. Last year, 23 of 69. And this is a guy who in the past had not looked for that kind of range. Robinson around Bird.
So hard for the Boston big people, the interior people, to keep covering up when the people from Portland have the ability to get by them off the dribble. As Bird knocks out a jumper.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Bird's philosophy, the only time he surprises when he misses, and a shooter keeps shooting. Danny Ainge shooting well. He's hit 3 of 4. He has 7.
In the 4-game losing streak, Ainge only 16 for 44, shooting 36% from the floor. Important for him to get his game going from the outside.
Lewis and Cooper on the rebound. Wayne Cooper is a member of the Trailblazers who has not been getting the playing time recently, but his coaches say he's handled it very well. No complaining at all. Ainge back out for Robinson. And Cliff Robinson hits his second field goal. 42-39 Portland.
I think the veteran guys understand it. It's nice to be with a winner. When you've got 44 wins under your belt, why complain? You could be in a much worse situation.
Notice the new addition this year in the repertoire of Cliff Robinson. McHale, that is the headband effect. Lewis taking from Robinson. and hitting.
Obviously color coordinated by Ahmad, helping out Robinson with the black headband.
Well, Ahmad told me that he went up to Cliff before the game and said, what's the story with the headband? Expecting a very long, extensive explanation. Cliff said it helps keep the sweat out of my eyes. A fine question and answer as Robinson is able to hit. 3-point lead for Portland. Bird going behind the back. Larry Bird is now 2 for 8. 5.5 remaining in this first half. Robinson stopped by McHale. Brown is wide open. McHale, and the loose ball foul indicated against the Celtics. Boston calling for the timeout.
Robinson having a few problems here. First losing the ball, Celtics score. Then as he's about to score, the shot is rejected by Kevin McHale. A little bit of frustration sets in.
Timeout taken with 5:21 remaining in this first half.
It's furnished by Ronald McDonald Children's Charities, the NBA, and its players.
Over the years, one of the Boston Celtics' great players, Hall of Famer Dave Cowens, who enjoyed an illustrious 11-year career, helping the Celtics to 2 NBA titles. Dave Cowens still active with the Boston Celtics. He is now their special assignments coach. This is the scene at practice yesterday as he works on a regular basis with the Celtic big men, in particular with the 7'2" rookie out of Yugoslavia, Stojko Verankovic. Dave is alongside Ahmad.
All right, Marv. Dave, now, you are the special assignment coach to work with these big men. What does that entail?
Basically, what I do is we work on basic fundamentals, refining their game so that it's appropriate for the team. Like Chris Ford wants these guys to be able to do certain things in the team structure. And trying to get Stojko ready for some quality minutes.
How's it coming?
It's coming pretty well. I mean, you know, you really don't know until the guy gets out there and plays in the game. And we do things sort of void of that in drills, but it's coming along. I've got a lot of confidence in it.
All right, always good to see, and congratulations on your induction into the NBA Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much.
All right, Marv.
I just saw Larry Bird shoot the technical during the timeout. Cliff Robinson, who had a rough sequence prior to that, apparently had something to say to one of the officials, was called for the technical foul. So Bird converting the tee, and Portland now leads 44-42.
It's a problem that the Trailblazers have to deal with. Drexler rejected the other night for complaining a little bit too much. This team feels frustrated not getting their share of free throws.
Danny Ainge looking for the three-pointer. He is now 1 for 2 from downtown. It will be Boston ball. Kevin Duckworth checking back in. Celtics have a front line of McHale, Parrish is back, and Pinckney, so Bird will get a rest. Larry Bird only 2 out of 8, 7 points. Brown and Gamble at the guard positions. Kevin Gamble now goes to the big guard. Steve Brown to give him the wide open shot once again. This time he hits it.
If they're going to continue to double back with the man that passes the ball into McHale, then all he has to do is move right or left, spot up for an open jump shot.
Kersey with a beautiful move, but not able to hit. Game tied at 44. 4.5 remaining in the first half. Pinckney with a fadeaway. And rebounded by Buck Williams. Terry Porter back on the floor. He had 5 assists in the first quarter. Eames from downtown. He's burning it up. 10 points for the one-time Boston Celtic, Danny Ainge.
One of the guys in the NBA who shoots better than 40% from behind the three-point line. What a weapon to have.
Portland by 3. Now Parrish. He was fouled. Robert Parrish with that patented move, feeling the contact and then beating his man along the baseline.
Anytime that the Trailblazers are going to double back on Kevin McHale with the passer, the guy who enters the ball just needs to slide to an open pocket to get the return pass. He'll be wide open for the shot. D. Brown enters, Porter traps back, D slides open, knock it out. Very simple game, basketball.
Oh, yes. Robert Parrish at 37 years of age, the oldest player in the league, but he shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, Parrish says he plans on playing 3 or 4 more years. He says 37 is just a number, referring to his age.
That's how I feel about 37.
Duckworth, yes. And Portland leads Boston 49-46. Boston Celtics at 42-15. This is their best record at this stage of the season. Again, Dee Brown, he's hit 2 in a row. Their best record since 86-87. And they've done it despite assorted injuries to key people. Well, we saw this last Sunday afternoon when the Celtics played at Indiana. Larry Bird, having difficulties with the back, will stretch out in front of the bench.
A la Rick Mahorn in his old days with the Detroit Pistons.
Foul on Parrish. Michael Smith and Clyde Drexler exchanging pleasantries.
If you think back to the 85-86 season, that Celtic team was 40-1 in this building, and then followed it up the next year at 39-2. Not a bad record over 2 years. Some of the games were played in Hartford, but they like playing.
Parrish off the script. Here's Gamble. Offensive foul. Terrific play by Terry Porter in establishing position.
Gamble just out of control the entire way down the floor. He couldn't decide whether to give it up to his teammate, who was running the left lane, or take it strong to the basket. Got caught in that gray area of indecision, and then he just had to follow through. There's Pinckney underneath saying, how about giving me a chance for 2?
Third foul on Gamble, originally a third-round draft pick of Portland. 87. Did not get much of a shot. Played only 9 games with the Blazers, and then it was on to the CBA after playing some basketball in the Philippines. Watch this sequence. Bird following Clyde Drexler, who nearly stepped on Larry's hand. That was
Take
just
out your opponent anyway.
Just a moment ago. 2:57 remaining in this first half. Timeout taken.
As part of the Oldsmobile Edge, standard on every new Olds, we give you 30 days or 1,500 miles to return your new Olds for any reason. Who says you can't get any satisfaction?
This is the new generation of Olds.
Wouldn't it be great if instead of being in hot water with your boss, you were in warm water, the Caribbean, and swimming toward you was a beautiful fish? No, it was a woman. And yes, she had beer, Keystone. The premium cold-filtered beer in a can that tastes like beer in a bottle because of Keystone's specially lined can. And wouldn't it be great if you told your boss to take that job and sure.
Coming up is the second part of our NBA doubleheader following Boston and Portland, the Rockets and the Lakers from the Forum in Inglewood. Houston had won 12 of 15 before Akeem Olajuwon returned on Thursday against the Los Angeles Clippers. Kind of a ticklish situation with Houston. Coming up at halftime with Bob Costas and Pat Riley, a close-up look at Danny Ainge, who has certainly hurt his former club here in the first half of play. Danny Ainge, incidentally, Mike, agrees that he has a reputation as a complainer. Says he is a whiner, though, not a complainer. Something you can relate to.
He loves the boos, just like Bill Lambier. When they come out on the floor and the people are booing him, they thrive on that.
Although he has heard only the cheers back in Boston today. Porter from deep, air ball, handled by McHale. 2:40 to go in the first half. And it's Portland by 1. It's been close throughout. Biggest lead for either club, 6-point margin by the Trailblazers. McHale in a battle with Williams. Again, Dee Brown given the room. 3 on the shot clock, and Kevin McHale able to drill it home.
Because Porter is backing off Dee Brown so far, it's making it difficult to get the ball in the low post to Kevin McHale. They're chasing McHale out of the post right now as a result.
Boston by 1. Drexler posting up. Kersey. And the Blazers take a 51-50 lead. Jerome Kersey has 10. Just under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Reggie Lewis with Clyde Drexler going flying by.
Two-man basketball, pick and roll. Harris setting the screen. Good screen that time to free up the scorer, Reggie Lewis.
Celtics recapture the lead. Drexler changed his mind, got it to Duckworth. And that's a traveling violation called on Jerome Kersey. Only the third turnover committed by the Trailblazers. A low turnover ball club. Pinkney setting the pick. Trailblazers able to battle their way through it. Duckworth broke it out. Harris shooting. Boston 54, Portland 51.
Big shot by Parrish to bail him out when the half-court game had actually broken down with only 4 seconds left on the 24-second shot clock.
Parrish, high man for Boston with 14. Drexler, a wild shot. And Drexler shaken up. Again, not a good shot attempt by Clyde Drexler.
That's about the third time that he's made a move and then taken a shot that is an ill-advised shot at that particular time. Not a high percentage shot.
On a 5 on the 24. Poor pass. And Portland gets it back with a half minute. No, it's stolen by Pinkney. Here's Brown. Yes. Oh, beautiful ball movement by the Celtics.
Eddie Pinkney playing the middle linebacker position, reading the floor. Makes the interception. Big score to get the crowd back just before halftime.
Portland holding for a final shot. They're on their feet here in Boston. Drexler. Rebounded by McHale. And they'll run it out. Lewis gets it off. That's the end of the first half. Rick Alderman looking very upset, staring at the officials. His club trailing Boston by 5. Coming up, Bob and Pat with the Prudential halftime report after these words.
From Gillette comes
The Golden Girls, weekdays at 5.
Back at the Boston Garden, Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Ahmad Rashad. As we head to the second half, the Celtics with a 56-51 lead on Portland, and a terrific first half for Boston. They shot 52% and also had the decisive edge off the boards.
I think that Chris Ford should be very happy. He is correct, though. They have missed a lot of easy shots. One of the things they stress is keep the ball in front of you on defense. Make them shoot over the top. Portland has continually beaten the Celtics off the dribble to the basket. But Boston doing a terrific job of getting on the glass.
All right, Boston also very successful in operating the two-man game.
Both teams like to use pick and roll or two-man basketball. Robert Parrish coming over, setting the screen, and he'll notice that right here, Duckworth is staying behind him, so that means to Parrish, I'm going to set a good solid screen, try and bump this defensive man off, get my teammate in this area, and then I'll roll to the basket in case I happen to be open. He executes it as well as you possibly can, freeing up Lewis. Drexler flying by, trying to recover. He knows it's too late.
And the Celtics have been successful despite the absence of one of their key players. Their point guard, Brian Shaw, played only 3 minutes in the first quarter because he went down and twisted his ankle. For more on the Brian Shaw story, let's go to Ahmad, who has Boston Celtic coach Chris Ford.
All right, Coach, you reevaluated the situation with Brian Shaw. He will not play the second half?
No, he had a severe sprain, turned it both ways, so he won't be back in the second half.
What does that do to your plan?
Well, we just have to go on. That's life in the NBA, injuries, and I thought Dee Brown did a great job for a rookie out there leading us.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck. All right, Marv.
All right, we'll be back with the second half from the Boston Garden right after these messages.
The sports car I want is a Nissan. No, the one with super high steering. No, the other one with super high steering. Yeah, the 240. And I tested it someplace curvy. No, I mean curvy. No, I mean really curvy. Then I'd listen to some music.
Having my baby.
No, I mean real music.
Yes!
We Brits are learning your American football. Right, Joe?
Yeah, right.
The other way! Catch the ball!
And after practice, we drink a great American beer. Miller Lite.
Miller Lite, with its crisp, refreshing Pilsner taste, it's everything you want in a beer today.
What are they doing now? They're practicing touchdowns.
Who's presenting tomorrow anyway?
The face.
Uh-oh. Are we scanning in his latest PR photo?
Face. Somebody better make the type bigger.
To make an ideal work.
This is excellent. Very precise. They've been very precise.
They're smiling. They're sold.
For documents that cut through, motivate, and persuade, nobody puts it together like Xerox.
Good morning.
Putting it together.
Printing, scanning, publishing. Xerox, the document company.
His Olympic victory and subsequent ban was the sports story of 1988. Now Ben Johnson returns to championship competition next weekend on NBC. Celtics with a 56-51 lead on the Portland Trailblazers, despite the fact that Larry Bird not shooting well, only 2 out of 8 from the field, but Boston overall at 52%. They lead the NBA in field goal percentage at 52%. You mentioned right at the start, Mike, that the Portland Trailblazers have not been going to the foul line frequently. Well, they have not gone at all here this afternoon.
In the championship series against Detroit, there were some problems with them getting to the line. They voiced their opinion. They felt they paid a price for that. Again, recently, they're not getting to the free throw line. They're not very happy about it.
However, the Trailblazers have been shooting the threes successfully once again, coming off the 0 for 13 in the loss Friday to Philadelphia. Larry Bird comes out shooting, make it 2 for 9. And the loose ball foul is called by Ed T. Rush. It is against Portland. That's 3 on Buck Williams. The only loss, as you look at that stat, when they lost to the San Antonio Spurs earlier this season. Aside from that, they've been perfect when they've had the lead at the half. Here's Bird going to the left hand.
He knew he'd find a way to break that little slump, so he just switches hand and shoots the floating left-hander.
Celtics by 7. Portland with Duckworth on the move. Boston opening the second half with Bird, Gamble, and Parrish up front. Lewis and Brown are at the guards. D. Brown replacing the injured Brian Shaw. Bird on a fadeaway. Bird is now 3 for 11. And it will be Portland ball.
Larry Bird taking advantage of the fact that the defensive guy is on the wrong side of him, behind him, just kind of steps under and uses that left to kind of shovel it on in.
Porter being played by Brown. Duckworth has the good outside touch. Kevin Duckworth is 6 for 9. He has 12. Behind that for Portland, they've got the balance scoring. Duckworth with 12, 10 apiece for Kersey and Ames. Terry Porter hit the deck. 5 on the 24. Bird. That's a three-pointer for Larry Bird. Boston 61 and Portland 55.
If I'm Portland right now, I'm saying to myself, we can't let this guy get it going from the outside. Belly up against him, force him to put it on the floor.
Drexler. And saved by Duckworth. He was pushed. And the Trailblazers to the line for the first time this afternoon. Bird called for his first foul.
Larry Bird, one of those players that when he's got it going, it just comes out of his hand. The release is perfect. You can tell when he's in a groove. He felt good about that. The second he let it go.
Kevin Duckworth, 77% free throw shooter. He was originally a second-round pick of San Antonio back in '86. Portland acquired him for Walter Berry. Not a bad deal. Berry ending up playing in Europe. And Duckworth making it to the All-Star team this year for the second time. Bird, he has caught fire.
Notice he goes right back to that same side of the floor. And when the Celtics were having those great seasons a few years ago, that was his spot on the floor, behind the three-point line on the right sideline near the Celtic bench.
Kersey's pass broken up by Lewis. Celtics lead by 8 with 2.5 gone by in the third. Duckworth pushed by Parrish. That is the second committed by Robert Parrish. And once again, Kevin Duckworth to the foul line.
The Celtics use a lot of double cuts off their post people. They'll send one guy off of Parrish, then they'll come right behind him with another guy. Larry Bird happens to be that second guy, and he loves winding up out here behind the three-point line. First, Lewis comes off. Bird says, hey, get out of there. I'm coming behind you. Here he is. There's my spot. Let me get it out of here quick.
Kevin Duckworth missing on the first attempt. He is 1 for 4 from the line. Dee Brown able to wrestle it free. Reggie Lewis. And the Blazers look to run. Drexler challenging Bird. The tip by Kersey. Boston leads 64-58.
And that's the way the Trailblazers would like to play. Out in the open floor, get a shot up. If you miss, let the athleticism take over. Next guy in on the glass to follow back up. They are an excellent rebounding team. They just haven't done it lately in the last 4 games.
Here's Parrish. And again, Drexler in the open floor going right at Bird. Gamble on the rebound. Here come the Celtics. They have the numbers. Dee Brown will not count. Offensive foul.
Dee Brown scores the basket, and the crowd is upset because they feel that the charge was taken under the rim, that area where supposedly the officials should just let it go.
Harry Porter's done a nice job in taking the charge this afternoon. Duckworth got the step. Here's Buck Williams, rejected by Parrish. Lewis. Boston, 66, and Portland, 58. Rick Adelman looking to talk it over.
Very important that you control the crowd in this building. Sometimes you need to use up an extra timeout just not to let the Celtics get away. Team defense, shot blocks, shot challenges, bring teams' field goal percentage down. That's why they're the best in the NBA right now.
Whether you take your lunch to work or your work to lunch, today's special is Sharps from Miller, the breakthrough non-alcoholic brew with real beer taste.
The Nissan I want is the, was in those commercials. They drove it to South America, the Pathfinder. We'd load up the Pathfinder and go skiing every weekend. The Paris-Dakar Rally. We could be the first family to race from Paris to Africa. Quit our jobs, pull the kids out of school. Maybe not.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sports Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanations. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
My very sensitive Laker brother, Vlade Divac, just shaved off his beard with the new Schick Slim Twin Plus.
How'd it go, Vlade?
Oh, never problema.
How do you like the new aloe comfort strip?
I'm no longer irritating.
The new Slim Twin Plus with aloe from Schick.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Nissan, built for the human race. By Miller Lite. When it's Miller Lite, less filling really tastes great. And by Nike, who reminds you to just do it.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the National Basketball Association and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the NBA. Boston Celtics turning it on here in the third. Over the last 7 minutes overall, going back to late second quarter, they have outscored Portland 18-9. And Larry Bird heating it up after the poor start. He has scored 15 in all, 8 of the 15 here in the third quarter. Rick Adelman going with Duckworth, Williams, and Kersey up front. Porter and Drexler in the backcourt. Portland with its starting lineup on the floor. Boston leading 66-58. Down to 5 on the 24. Nice feed from Drexler. And another missed layup by the Trailblazers. And Parrish comes away with it.
And those are the little things, those missed layups. You say to yourself, well, they're just having a tough time right now, but that's the challenging of the shot. And there's the guy who tries to drive the stake through your heart. He knows when the teams are vulnerable. He tries to put them away, particularly with the three.
Larry Bird has hit his last 3 from downtown. Drexler, yes. And the Celtics now lead at 69-60. Larry Bird only 2 for 8 in the first half, but has turned it around. 4 for 6 from the field here in the third. Lewis, and rebounded by Duckworth. Nice feed as Porter set up Drexler. Drexler has been quiet today, has shot poorly, only 6 for 17 from the field.
When you have two great teams playing an excellent game of basketball, as we see here today, many times it's just that one spurt that can make the difference in the game. The Celtics went on that little run, but Portland has answered, kind of quieted the crowd again.
Parrish in traffic, able to do it despite the double team. The Celtics lead by 9. Porter with the open jump. And a loose ball foul called on Boston.
Find that handle, Robert.
Foul called on Gamble. For Gamble, that's his 4th.
Larry Bird knowing that's the time right now for me to try and drive this stake through their heart. Faces up, knocks out the 3. How many times has he done that against opponents?
Gamble now sitting down, replaced by McHale. Duckworth, he went to the left hand. Had too much on it. Steve Brown, one of the fastest men with the ball in the NBA. Parrish with the fake. Lewis stripped. 3-on-1. Porter for Drexler. Boston 71 and Portland 64. 5.5 to go in the third quarter. Boston Celtics 42-15. That is now the best record in the Eastern Conference, with Chicago losing last night to Indiana. Here's Bird. Yes! Oh, he's on fire. Portland at 44-14, and that is the best record in the Western Conference. Drexler got the step, and he was hacked.
Portland with the fast break, showing how they fill the lanes and their speed and quickness, outnumbering the sole defender, Larry Bird, back on defense. Bird says, wait a minute, I can't do this all by myself. I need some people back here to help out.
Was that the sole defender you were saying, Mike?
Yes.
And the foul shooting has been off. Duckworth 1 for 4. Portland now overall 1 for 5 from the line. Drexler, a 79% free throw shooter. And at Boston by 8. D. Brown. And D. Brown Brown, after missing his early opportunities, has come on. He's hit 10 points now. Kersey will go to the line.
As soon as Kersey saw that he had Larry Bird back alone on defense, he put it on the floor, put his head down, and just tried to take it to the middle of the floor, knowing that Larry would have a tough time moving his feet. Takes it strong. Kevin tries to come back and help out against Larry, but too late.
Second foul committed by Bird, and Joe Klein off the bench. Joe Klein did not play on Friday night against San Antonio. Kersey, not a good free throw shooter at 68%. Here's Klein for Parrish. 16 for Robert Parrish, along with 7 rebounds. Dave Cowens, Celtics special assignment man these days. He's been working with Joe Klein, along with Stojko Brankovic, looking to help their post-up moves. Brankovic, of course, a project. Here's McHale. And the loose ball foul on Portland. Crowd responding to the good hustle underneath by the Celtics. Duckworth called for his second.
Well, what happens is when Portland comes to double team with Drexler, it leaves Reggie Lewis all alone under the basket. Reggie keeps it alive, enables the Celtics to come back with it.
Bird again. That is his 4th three-pointer. He now has 23. He's hit 6 of 8 in the 3rd quarter. And the chant of Larry, Larry. Kersey. Boston leading 78-69. Larry Bird only 2 for 8, 7 points at the half. And again the chant for Bird. Brown for Lewis. Kersey shedding the double team. Beautiful move by Jerome Kersey.
Nice step on the move by Jerome that time. Little floater to the basket. You lose the defender by taking that long step underneath.
Celtics 78. Trailblazers 71. As we come up on 3 minutes to go in the 3rd. Bird. Here's Porter. And he drew the foul. Terry Porter will go to the line. Took the hit from Kevin McHale.
With Bird, McHale, and Klein on the floor, you see that the Trailblazers are making the extra effort to push the ball back at them, trying to hurt them in transition defense. Bird setting the screen. Kersey very physical with Bird, not letting him set that screen down low, forcing the guard to go that much wider out in the pick and roll.
Terry Porter in his 6th year out of Wisconsin, Stevens Point. He was a steal in the 1986 draft. Made it to the All-Star team for the first time this season.
The Celtics set Kevin McHale and Reggie Lewis at the far end of the floor during free throws, trying to get a quick hurry-up offense, sometimes off the made free throw by the Trailblazers.
Boston with a 5-point lead. Brown and Lewis in the backcourt. Klein up front with Bird and McHale. Kersey guarding Bird. 5 on the shot clock. McHale going to option number 5.
And that time, the Trailblazers made an adjustment. They did not double team. They stayed at home. As a result, McHale scores. Another turnover forced.
Klein not able to handle the pass from Brown.
One of the problems of giving it up to a 7-footer trying to fill the left lane.
And a timeout has been called. Here's Red Auerbach reacting to the Boston turnover by Joe Klein. We'll be back in just a moment.
Sometimes I dream I'm in Italy, driving this incredible sports car. And my boss is there. He says,
"We need a ride to the shareholders meeting."
Now, here's where it gets weird. The sports car has has 4 doors. I mean, there's no such thing as a 4-door sports car. It's just a dream, right?
We Brits are learning your American football. Right, Joe?
Yeah, right.
The other way! Catch the ball!
And after practice, we drink a great American beer. Miller Lite.
Miller Lite, with its crisp, refreshing Pilsner taste, it's everything you want in a beer today.
What are they doing now? They're practicing touchdowns.
My very sensitive Laker brother, Lottie D-Bots, just shaved off his beard with the new Schick Slim Twin Plus.
How'd it go, Vladdy?
No problema.
How do you like the new Aloe Comfort Strip?
I'm no longer irritating.
The new Slim Twin Plus with aloe from Schick.
The product. The proving grounds. The results. STP gas treatment is the edge.
The Houston Rockets, the LA Lakers. It's showtime at the Fabulous Forum. A second stuffing of the NBA on NBC. Next.
Now, even though this is the Celtics' house and they're chanting Larry, Larry, if you strain your ears, you can find some Portland fans, and I have found them. They're right back here, all the way from Portland. A lot of nerve, those people from Portland, huh?
Well, Mike, once again, Ahmad inciting the crowd. Portland Trailblazers breaking the huddle. They are down by 7, 80-73, with 2.5 to go in the third.
Ahmad asked him to hold it up and ran immediately to the other end of the floor.
So that graphic, Portland with a most unusual schedule following today. They are now off for a full week. An oddity in the schedule. Buck Williams with the driving hook cuts it to a 5-point Boston lead. The Trailblazers resume at home next Sunday night against the Celtics, followed by a Monday home game against Cleveland and 2 on the road at Phoenix and at Utah. They have been on the road during the course of this 4-game losing streak. 3 of the 4 on the road. Holding foul on Buck Williams, met by the sarcastic roar from the crowd.
And Buck Williams has added a new piece to his game, the ability to take it from the high post area, drive it to the basket, and that time shows us a little bird action there with the left hand.
Buck will sit down. Cliff Robinson coming on. Klein up front with Bird and McHale, Lewis and Brown in the backcourt. Here's Brown, but away from the ball, a foul detected. Kevin McHale backing in on Robinson, trying to post up, is called for his 4th.
Interesting, that time as McHale was posting up and the guard backed way off of D. Brown, Larry Bird just yelled over to D. Brown, shoot it! And D got it up to the basket. Larry, you know, he understands. They're going to back off, earn their respect.
Nice pass. And Jerome Kersey cuts it down to a 3-point Boston lead. Celtics have led by as many as 11. Porter picks off the errant pass thrown by Brown. It's a 4-on-3. Drexler for Duckworth. He blew the stuff. Rebounded by Drexler. Porter throws it back out. Drexler from downtown. And here come the Celtics. Brown around Drexler. Porter from downtown. Rebound Kersey. And he's fouled. Foul called on Lewis, his 3rd.
A lot of action. Unfortunately, the finishing product at the end is not there for either team right now. Duckworth up strong. The challenge by Klein just hits the back of the rim. At the other end of the floor, the fast break opportunity. D. Brown just can't get that left hand to fall.
Jerome Kersey averaging 13.5 per game. My teams play him to his right hand. He is predominantly noted as a right-hand player, but So were fellows by the name of John Havlicek and Pete Maravich. Somehow they, like Kersey, managed to succeed.
What happens is they're so good going to that strong hand or dominant hand that they still beat you going that way. And if you take away that strength, all you do is make them go to the side of the field. They don't really like to most of the time.
Bird on the fadeaway. Nice save by, picked off by Robinson. Here's Drexler setting up Duckworth. Yes. And the Trailblazers have come from 11 down, and they've taken an 81-80 lead here in Boston. We're down to 25 seconds to go in the third. A 14-2 run by Portland. Aggressive defense by the Trailblazers. Good play by Robinson to break it up.
There's about a 7-second difference between the 24-second clock and the game clock, which means Portland will have the opportunity to get one more good shot up at the basket.
Brown. That was a three-point attempt. And here's Drexler putting the speed on. Oh, spectacular. Length of the court dash by the Glide. Final seconds. Porter off the steal. That would have counted. So the Trailblazers turn it, and they've taken a 3-point lead on the Celtics after 3. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station.
Let me tell you my fantasy. I'm driving with the stereo on, the sunroof's open. Just me and Michael, winding our way to this little bed and breakfast in my Nissan Stanza. Oh, I know, as fantasies go, it sounds pretty tame. But you should see my real life.
I think that's the best move I've ever made, was to stay in school and really pay attention and focus on the things that you need to get done in high school. I think if kids want to get a quality education, it's there, and it's there for your benefit. I think you should really capitalize on that opportunity. Stay in school. It's your best move.
A message furnished by Ronald McDonald Children's Charities, the NBA, and its players.
This is the NBC Television Network.
If you haven't been going to Pizza Hut for lunch, you don't know what you've been missing. Because right now you can get a pepperoni personal pan pizza for just $1.29 and a supreme personal pan pizza for just $1.79. And Pizza Hut has the 5-minute guarantee. If you don't get your personal pan pizza in 5 minutes, your next one's free. Now, you don't have to go to Pizza Hut for lunch, but why wouldn't you? Pizza Hut, making it great.
How do I know where to get my brakes done right?
Come to Midas. There's a lot of value in our $69 or $89 basic brake service.
And you get something else.
Peace of mind.
Knowing you get a thorough inspection by Midas-trained experts and a written estimate up front. Knowing every brake shoe and pad is guaranteed for as long as you own your car. And knowing the job will be done right.
That's why more people come to us for brakes, knowing that nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Matlock, weekdays at 4 on WDIT, Channel 30.
Portland with a 16-2 run. The last 4.5 minutes, they were down by 11. They are now up by 3 as we head to the fourth, and this one of the spectacular moves of the afternoon.
Drexler making sure it was a good shot on the way to leading the Trailblazers to 15 fast break points in that third quarter. At the end of the first half, Boston 12 fast break points, Trailblazers only 9, turning around in that quarter with the transition game.
Drexler with 17, although he has not shot well. Jerome Kersey leading Portland with 22. Larry Bird, who turned it in the third quarter. High man for the Celtics with 23. Kersey fouled by Bird, so that is 3 for Bird, who converted 6 of 10 from the floor in the third quarter for 16 of his 23. Kevin Gamble, despite 4 fouls, returns. He's up front with Bird and Parrish. Check that. Gamble would be at a guard position with Brown, Parrish, Bird, and McHale on the floor for the Celtics. Wayne Cooper is back. Cooper with Kersey and Robinson on the front lines for Portland. Porter and Ainge in the backcourt. And Ainge had the hot hand in the first half. Kersey doing a nice job in fronting Bird. Brown could not get him the ball. Shot clock down to 2. Parrish. And it's a 24-second violation.
One of the things we did not point out in that third quarter at the end of it was that although they've done some things with the transition game, I think the Trailblazers are very happy about their team defense, holding Boston to just 24 there in the third quarter. Once again, a stopped 24-second violation.
Porter. Robinson trying to save it. Stepped out. Terry Porter is now 2 for 10 from the field.
Trailblazers this season 41-1 going into that Atlanta game when they led at the end of 3 quarters. They led in that Atlanta game the other night and lost that one. Here at the end of 3, they lead the Celtics. We'll see if that holds up this afternoon.
Nice pick and roll, and McHale through the foul.
Kevin McHale setting the screen for Bird. Unusual when they play pick and roll with a big forward and a center big forward like Kevin McHale. It causes problems for the defense. The switch, McHale rose to the basket. Almost perfect pick and roll basketball.
Ainge called for the foul. McHale is 4 for 4 from the line. Not too many people expected that Kevin McHale would be able to return from that sprained left ankle. Made his return. Played well Friday night against San Antonio. 16 minutes of playing time. And he done a nice job here today. There were rumors, some speculating that the injury could be even more serious, but he's back. Cliff Robinson with 8 points. He's done a good job off the bench. Portland with an 86-82 lead.
Someone had put the word out that it was actually a break in Kevin McHale's ankle. I think that was the opposition, hoping the doctors would read the papers.
Bird able to get it back. And here's Brown. Yes. There is also the possibility that Derek Smith, who's recovering from knee surgery, may begin practicing with the club sometime this week. Porter lost it. Brown putting moves on Ainge, and he's fouled.
Starts with defense. The good strip at the defensive end of the floor for the Celtics. Ignites the fast break and gets D. Brown out in the open floor where he's so effective. Good hands by the defensive guy. Porter driving to the basket. There's the strip right there. Left hand reaches in. That's one of the things that D. Brown told us. Ford wants us to keep the ball in front of us, and then he's so good at taking it to the basket. What acceleration by this young guard.
Ed Pinckney is back. D. Brown hitting that first foul shot. Larry Bird will get a rest, leaves with 23. D. Brown has played well in the absence of Brian Shaw, who went down early with a sprained ankle. The game is tied at 86. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth. Ainge met on a switch by Parrish, looking for the mismatch. Ainge from downtown and beyond.
And he went for 4 on that shot, not 3.
Timeout is called. 9:42 remaining in the fourth. We'll be back in Boston in a moment.
Of all the extraordinary new automobiles that come to America, only one was awarded Motor Trend Import Car of the Year, the Mitsubishi 3000 GT. With all-wheel drive, all-wheel steering, ABS brakes, and 300 horsepower. The Mitsubishi 3000 GT, Import Car of the Year. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
One of these travelers knows that some payphones are connected to operator service companies you've never heard of. Some who can charge 2 to 3 times more than AT&T for long-distance calls. One of them knows a way to avoid being overcharged is to dial 10ATT0 and the number. Which one knows all this? The one who isn't being taken to the cleaners. 10ATT0. For fair prices and quality service, we're always there to help.
Now the 6 o'clock. Washington. We can't work unless you take something for that cold.
I took that.
Not that kind. Take contact.
Here all the
Contact is different.
With 600 tidy tie pills, contact is different.
Contact lasts for 12 hours, up to 3 times longer than ordinary cold medicine, so there's a whole day's work in every contact. And now, the 11 o'clock report.
There's a whole day's work in every contact.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Mitsubishi, bringing you a full line of award-winning automobiles. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around. By the Prudential, come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock. And by Gillette and the revolutionary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Gillette, the best a man can get.
On the scoreboard, Philadelphia gunning for their 8th straight win, leading Utah. Utah's won 2 in a row. And after 3, led by David Robinson, who has 22, San Antonio over Washington. Bullets have lost 5 straight. San Antonio has had a strange run. They had a 19-1 lead on the Knicks and lost in New York Thursday, a 17-point lead on Boston here on Friday and lost. Walter Davis yet to see action here this afternoon.
Many people felt that it might be a problem when the trade did take place, that Walter Davis was coming to a team who had a real nice 3-guard rotation with Ainge, Drexler, Porter. Where do you play him up front with Kersey and Robinson? And some even said that the deal was just done so that Walter Davis wouldn't wind up on another team.
Well, in the schoolyards of Brooklyn, we'd have to take another ball and throw it up to knock the ball down, Mike, as you can certainly relate to, but these guys can get it by themselves.
Some of us were able to jump up that high.
Some of us.
And reach it to take it off the rim.
And that will be a jump ball. The game is tied at 86. 9:27 remaining in the 4th quarter. Celtics remaining the same. Brown and Gamble at the guards. Parrish, McHale, and Pinckney up front. Portland now respecting the outside touch of D. Brown. Off the double team. And Wayne Cooper gets to it. Drexler. Drexler fires way off. Drexler on the steal, feeding Porter. And Rick Adelman upset, as is Terry Porter, looking for the foul. There was no call.
And the official felt that Porter actually took it right into Robert Parrish. There was no intent by Parrish to try to block the shot. The contact was all initiated by Porter, so the official let it go.
Portland by 2. Boston led by as many as 11. The Trailblazers with a 16-2 run to take the lead. McHale, and he'll go to the line. Foul by Porter.
Drexler, after the bad miss, kind of hides behind D. Brown, picks off the pass, and now Porter takes it right into Robert Parrish, who's really trying to move out of the way. Says, hey, look, I didn't try to commit a foul.
Clyde Drexler has had his ups and downs today, shooting only 8 for 21. He has 17 points. Not been hitting the outside shot. McHale 6 for 6 from the line. He has 14 points.
Big turnaround here in the second half for the Trailblazers. They have gotten to the free throw line 14 times already after shooting 0 for the first half.
Boston and Portland tied at 88. Drexler. Easy penetration for Clyde Drexler.
One of those mismatches, having the combination on the floor of Ainge, Porter, and Drexler. Someone has to guard Drexler for the Celtics. It happens to be Ed Pinckney. He's just not quick enough to stop him off the dribble.
Parrish. And he'll go to the line. Foul committed by Duckworth. That's 3 on Kevin Duckworth. Robert Parrish, 2 for 2 from the line. He's had a solid day, 16 points, 7 rebounds. So Boston now 14 for 15 from the line. Their first free throw miss. Portland. Harry Bird resting the sore back. Bird with a dazzling shooting exhibition in the third quarter. Duckworth. Oh, no! Well, the Celtics don't think it should count. Looking for offensive interference, but the goal is good.
Celtics claiming that the ball was in the cylinder. Chris Ford mad enough to call a timeout so he can voice his complaint to the officials.
He wanted the outside official to make the call, and he is screaming at Jim Kinsey.
Well, from that angle right there, it certainly looks like the ball is in the cylinder, and Drexel just goes up and slams it down through. Kevin McHale says it's no good.
And the crowd continues to boo.
Yo, Mars Blackman, here with the lattice lamp. I am the genie on the lamp. I'm granting you just one wish.
What should I wish for? Do you know?
$1 million?
Nah, tax problem.
A new car?
Can't drive. I got it.
Boom!
Look, Mom, I can fly. I like that, Genie.
I am the greatest.
In the past 3 years, Mitsubishi Cars and Trucks have won 31 major awards for automotive excellence. One car has won the same award 3 times. The Mitsubishi Eclipse Turbo, the first sports coupe ever to be named to Car and Driver's 10 Best list 3 years in a row. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
Hey, Jenny, come show your granddad how to set this VCR thing.
Okay. Input the TV channel to match the station you want to record. Press store. Then, if the event is in the first 7-day period...
At the Prudential, we believe some things can't be explained with a lot of fancy talk. So when it comes to life insurance...
Maybe we should cover that last part again.
We won't let you get it until you've got it. Your piece of the rock.
NBC Sports presents the world's most important figure skating event of the year. U.S. national champions Todd Eldridge and America's newest sensation Tonya Harding take on the world's best. Unprecedented coverage begins Friday night, March 15th. The World Figure Skating Championships on NBC.
7:24 to go in the fourth. Portland leading Boston by 3. And right now, Ahmad, alongside one of the legends of the game, the president of the Boston Celtics, Arnold Red Auerbach. Here's Ahmad.
All right, Marv, the Boston Gardens NBA championships and Red Auerbach, they all go together. Marv, I mean, Red, the Celtics just don't seem to want to go away. People keep saying, oh, they're old. They keep chipping away and hanging in there.
Well, that's that old Celtic mystique. You know, they come out here, they look at the flags, they remember what it all stands for, and they know they got to win, and they just reach deeper. They reach deeper, and they get there. Look at Parrish out there. Isn't he wonderful?
He is wonderful, and so are you, Red. Thanks for visiting with me. Back to you, Marv.
I want to cry. The tears are flowing. Ahmad can get so sentimental. 92-89. Portland with a 3-point lead and the ball. Gary Porter setting against D. Brown. Larry Bird has returned. Bird up front now with Parrish and Gamble, Brown and Lewis in the backcourt. D. Brown logging lots of playing time. Here's Gamble going to the left hand. That's only his second field goal. He's been quiet.
Basically just overpowered Danny Ainge. Got him into the paint, the green area, and just said, let me move him out of the way with my body and get it up over him.
Portland with a 1-point lead. Drexler putting the spin on Lewis. Bird rebound. Brown gets it down to Parrish. Eames with the steal. Drexler for Ainge. What a play! Bird turned his head. He couldn't believe it.
Four-point turnaround at that time. Parrish almost there to complete the fast break. Long lob pass. Stripped by Ainge. 2 points at the other end. 4-point difference in the game.
Blazers by 3. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the fourth. Here's D. Brown. D. Brown has come up strong in taking over for the injured Brian Shaw. He has 16 points, along with 6 assists. Boston back within 1. Duckworth setting the screen. Porter from three-point land. Terry Porter hits a 3, his second of the day. And the Blazers now lead at 97-93.
It's only a matter of time before Porter's going to knock one out. He's shooting almost 42% from behind the three-point line, and he will keep getting them up there.
Campbell looking to put the move on Ainge, and does. And Portland wanted the call, and they got it. That was offensive interference.
And probably the worst thing that could happen at that time, right after the same thing at the other end where there's no call, they take that one away from the Celtics.
So the Trailblazers get it back. Danny Ainge ushering Chris Ford aside in jocular fashion. I don't think Chris, with a sense of humor at this point, and Terry Porter has extended to a 6-point lead for the Trailblazers. Boston calling for time.
Of all the extraordinary new automobiles that come to America, only one was awarded Motor Trend Import Car of the Year, the Mitsubishi 3000 GT. With all-wheel drive, all-wheel steering, ABS brakes, and 300 horsepower. The Mitsubishi 3000 GT, Import Car of the Year. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
In today's higher revving and hotter running engines, wear is a greater problem than ever before. Oil breakdown can shorten the life of vital engine parts. That's why there's Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol, because driving today can be a grind. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
From Gillette comes Sensor, the only razor that can sense and adjust to the individual needs of your face. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and individually adjust to your face. The closest, safest, most comfortable Gillette Sensor, together with the richness of foamy shave cream for the best shave a man can get.
A fatal attraction places an innocent family at stake, forcing one mother to fight back for her daughter. Barbara Eaton, Loretta Swit, Hell Hath No Fury on NBC Monday.
.48 remaining in the fourth. When we went away, you saw Chris Ford upset about this call. And Kevin McHale was hit with a technical foul.
Hit by the furthest official away at the other end of the floor, which says to me that you got to kind of be looking over there in that huddle to try and find something to call from that far away.
Steve Javi made the call. A unique chant from the crowd of CBA indicating the officials are with the CBA.
Well, you didn't expect them to make it easy on the poor guys, did you?
Well, that's a new one. To get that down in unison. And Danny Ainge hits the technical. There is Steve Javi, son of one-time NFL official Stan Javi.
Steve Javi on the cover of the officiating book this month.
Yes. Off the steal, here's Drexler. he's fouled. He was clobbered by Bird. A hard hit leveled by Larry Bird.
That's about the third or fourth time that Larry's been caught back at the defensive end, but it's the first time that he made sure they weren't going to get an easy score off of that basket. The intensity level picking up here. You can see the Trailblazers suddenly gain this extra burst of energy. Drexler head down, takes it strong. Bird says, you're not getting this one in the hoop.
Bird with his fourth. Very impressive. Come from behind effort by Portland against a Boston team that has won 26 and lost 4 here at home. Portland has dropped their last 4. They have it, the NBA's best record at 44 and 14. Another low turnover game for the Trailblazers. Bird shooting. And it will be Celtic ball. 4:20 remaining in the fourth. And Portland has opened up a 102-93 lead. At one point, the Celtics led by as many as 11.
Keep in mind that the Celtic team is not a team that forces a lot of turnovers. They rank 24th, 25th in the entire season. Deep round, knocking out the jumper. But 24th or 25th in forced turnovers. Their opponents only commit about 14 every game, so it's tough for them to get possessions back at the defensive end.
Here's Porter. Rebounded by Gamble. E. Brown has had an outstanding day with 18 points. Parrish putting the move on Duckworth. Yes. 102-97. Boston within 5.
This is the spot where they really miss Shaw, where they can have 2 quick guards to pick up their pressure and try to handle the Porter-Drexler combination. Instead, with Shaw out, only one guy, D. Brown, puts the pressure on.
Drexler. Well, that's one of those shots. Had he missed it, we would have said another poor shot. Clyde Drexler has 25. Bird from downtown.
Chris Ford that time was waving D. Brown to hurry up, get the ball down, get in our transition offense. We got to get some shots up at the basket.
The Portland lead is 4. 3 minutes remaining in the fourth. Duckworth. Good box out by Drexler to get it out to Ainge. Robinson. Porter around Brown. And he's fouled. Foul committed by Parrish. That's 3 on Parrish. Bird has 4. Gamble has 4. And McHale with 4. The Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Lakers from the Forum in Inglewood. That is next, following Portland and Boston. Chatting about the return earlier of Hakeem Olajuwon, Coach Don Chaney admitting that the return could disrupt the team chemistry, but only, as Chaney says, if you dwell on the negative side, a ticklish situation, because the Rockets have played so well with Hakeem sidelined by injury.
And Chaney's just done a fantastic job with the Houston Rockets. They were 4 over the 500 mark when Olajuwon went out. They were 9 over. They picked up 5 when he returned the other night against the Clippers. It's going to be key how that team adjusts to his return.
6-point lead for Portland. Down to 2.5 remaining in the fourth. Gamble off the hesitation dribble and nowhere to go. Here's Brown from downtown. Rebound, Parrish. Yes. 21 for Robert Parrish. Tough shot by the Chief. Boston down by 4.
Because of the great pride in the Celtics, you can see Bird and Parrish become much more physical the last 2 minutes in this fourth quarter. They're up, they're on the glass. They're trying to punish the Trailblazers physically right now.
3 on the shot clock. Ainge from long range. Rebound, Bird. Bird met on the double team. Duckworth off the boards, and the foul called on Gamble. That's 5 on Kevin Gamble.
D. Brown from the deep right-hand corner. Watch Parrish come in, work his way around Ainge, who was trying to box him off the glass, and then just take it up strong. Chris Ford felt it should have been a three-point play right there with Parrish going to the foul line.
Rick Adelman calling for time. So the timeout situation, Portland with 3 and a 20, Boston with 2 and a 20 remaining.
It pays to be selective by Shearson Lehman Brothers. According to Institutional Investors' recent research team poll, we're #1 in investment research. Of the nearly 7,000 publicly traded companies in the U.S., we identify what we believe to be the 1,000 most important. Of these, we recommend only 115. Which stocks survive our scrutiny? Talk with us. Shearson Lehman Brothers.
In the past 3 years, Mitsubishi Cars and Trucks have won 31 major awards for automotive excellence. And now, for the second year in a row, a Mitsubishi Galant is Motor Trend's selection as the top buy among all imported sports sedans. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
A new breed of cop.
It is a war out there.
New Jack. A new chronicle to be told. Wesley Snipes, Ice-T, Mario Van Peebles, and Judd Nelson. New Jack City. Rated R. Starts Friday, March 8th.
In making an artistic statement, one's personal aroma shouldn't do the talking. So I use Right Guard Sports Stick with maximum protection. A true artiste should be known for inspiration, not perspiration. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
The Houston Rockets, the LA Lakers. It's showtime at the Fabulous Forum. A second stuffing of the NBA on NBC. Next.
Minute 46 to go in the fourth quarter. Portland just called a timeout. They lead by 4. Let's go to Ahmad, who is creeping around the Portland Trailblazer huddle.
All right, Mark, during that time, my coach Adelman said that he wants to limit the Celtics to one shot, try to get all the rebounds, and have Portland just keep pouring it at them. Execute.
And there is Rick Adelman. He took over from Mike Schuler midway through the 88-89 season. Last year, in his first full season as head coach, directed Portland to the Western Conference crown. In the playoffs, they swept Dallas, beat San Antonio in 7, beat Phoenix in 6, and then lost to Detroit in 5 for the NBA championship. Portland returning to the finals for the first time since the glory days. Minute and a half to go in the fourth. Portland taking some time off the clock. Ainge with the left-hand flip. Big bucket for the former Celtic, Danny Ainge. And it extends the lead to 6.
At the same time, they ran about 23 seconds off that shot clock and game clock before Ainge got that one up.
Bird fouled. He was blocked by Robinson.
With the shot clock running down, Porter knows he has to create something. Ainge flashes into the lane, switches hands, gives the Celtics a little lefty back in their face.
Ainge with 15 off the bench. Drexler, the high man, with 25, leading Portland along with 12 rebounds. Larry Bird now 27 points, did his damage in the third quarter after the slow start. Robert Parrish, 21 points. T. Brown logging 40-plus minutes, his NBA high, with 18 points, 7 assists. It's a 4-point Trailblazer lead. As we approach 1 minute remaining in the fourth quarter. What's the difference defensively with Brian Shaw's sideline?
Well, you don't have that extra quick guard with some size to create things. And a terrific drive to the basket by Robinson, takes it up strong. He knows they're not going to give him anything easy, so he finishes it with the two-hand slam.
Larry Bird called for the foul. That's 5 on Bird.
Gets inside the defense, takes it strong. He knows now's the time. I've got to finish it off.
And here is Kevin McHale checking back in. Cliff Robinson has come on so strong in his second year out of the University of Connecticut. Suspect shooting. Some question his attitude. That dropped him to a second-round pick. But he turned out to be one of the best picks in the 1989 draft. T. Brown on the rebound. Boston down by 6. Bird down seconds to go in the fourth, and it will be Trailblazer ball. Portland looking to end the 4-game losing streak, their longest losing streak since back in 88-89.
I think Chris Ford has just changed his defense now, gone to a full court or three-quarter court trap, zone-type press, trying to force a quick shot turnover, but Portland bringing it back out, going to run time off the clock.
Both clubs are over the foul limit. Boston finally able to get the foul with 27 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. It's on Lewis. Six-point lead for the Trailblazers. And Clyde Drexler to the line. He's 3 for 4 from the line.
The three guys on the floor that the Trailblazers have handling the basketball now, all shooting well from the free throw line. 81, 81, 79 for Drexler. Guys who put him down.
Following today, Portland with a full week off, a quirk in the schedule. They get back into it against Boston next Sunday night at home, while the Celtics are home tomorrow night for Indiana and then home for Miami on Wednesday. The Celtics will talk it over. Timeout taken.
Of all the extraordinary new automobiles that come to America, only one was awarded Motor Trend Import Car of the Year, the Mitsubishi 3000 GT. With all-wheel drive, all-wheel steering, ABS brakes, and 300 horsepower. The Mitsubishi 3000 GT, Import Car of the Year. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
I am the soldier. I am skilled and smart. I've got the training, and I've got the heart. I'm the defender of our liberty. I am the soldier. Count on me. Rise into the challenge, whatever it may be. I am the soldier. Count on me.
This week on NBA Inside Stuff, they're wild, they're wacky, they're the Albert Achievement Awards. They could be the NBA stars of the future. They're child prodigies, touring the country, performing their unique halftime acts. Rewind the week with the NBA's hottest shots. And you'll absolutely flip for this week's Jam Session. Get the Inside Stuff, Saturday on NBC.
Portland with an 8-point lead, 27 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Clyde Drexler has not had a good shooting performance, but he was the spark in turning it around. Portland coming back from an 11-point deficit, and Clyde the Glide is today's Miller Genuine Draft Player of the Game. On behalf of Clyde Drexler, NBC and Miller Genuine Draft will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. 27 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 for 6 from the line, although the shooting 11 for 24 from the field. Not your usual Clyde Drexler stat.
But the great players find a way of helping their team to win. 12 rebounds from a guard, 8 assists, a couple steals, block shots. You do other things to help your teammates.
McHale. Portland now leads 112, 106, 20 seconds remaining. And the foul is given in wrestling fashion by Kevin McHale. Once again, Clyde Drexler to the free throw line. Our producer today, David Neal. Our director, John Gonzalez. Statistician, Mr. Stats himself, taking time out from a busy schedule, Elliot Kalb. And this, the first of an All-NBA doubleheader. It'll be the Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Lakers. Dick Enberg, Steve Jones from the Forum in Los Angeles. 20-second timeout taken by Chris Ford. Larry Bird did not shoot well on the subject of having difficulties, but seeing how the outstanding players can still lift a club. Bird in the first half only 2 for 8, and then tore it up in the third quarter. There you see the stat line on on Bird with 28 points, but only 9 for 23 from the field.
Every time this man shoots the basketball, I think it's going in the basket. I know that in 7 years of coaching against him, he made so many big shots against us. In fact, one night, I remember in New Orleans when he broke the club record, it was 64, 66, whatever. He shot one falling into our bench, landed in the seats, and it still went in. He had our guys applauding for him on the bench that day.
On the subject of your coaching days with Atlanta, I was talking with Danny Ainge earlier, asking for his fondest memory as a Celtic. He said it was in a playoff game, as he put it, against Fratello and the Hawks. The Celtics were blowing out, as he said, Fratello and the Hawks 36-6 at one point. And the foul has been called on Porter. That received the sarcastic roar from the crowd. Interesting reaction from Terry Porter. Dee Brown has played 42 minutes, 18 points, 7 assists. And that is a career high for Brown, 19 points. 114-107. Portland just running the clock down. And they will put an end to a 4-game losing streak. 4 and 5/10 seconds remaining, and Porter will go to the line, fouled by Brown, so the Trailblazers maintain the best overall record in the NBA. They will go to 45-14, and the Celtics will drop to a record of 42 up and 16 down.
And I still would like to know the rest of the 36-6 run.
That's all he said, Mike.
Just left me hanging.
I'm assuming that your boys did not pull it out, if that's what you're indicating.
We may have come back and won that game.
Yeah. And a timeout called by Boston.
I think this is a way of Chris Ford saying that I don't like the officiating job we got today, so we're going to make you stand out on this floor a little bit longer, down 9 points, unless he's got a special 9-point play that they're going to come out of this huddle with.
Something I know you've been working on over the years. That is the final timeout for Boston.
And Bird, Ford, a couple of the players, a little smirk on their face, saying, we'll all stand out here together during this last timeout break.
Yes, they are in the process of staring down the officials. But I don't think you can blame this on the officiating in any way.
Certainly not.
Portland Trailblazers with a terrific come-from-behind effort, and they do it on the road, where they will go to 17-11 away from Portland. Portland, one of the great franchises in the NBA. Every game is set out because of the demand for tickets. They also at times sell out an auditorium that shows the home games on closed-circuit television. Television ratings in Portland through the roof. Phenomenal. Highest local ratings in the league.
Second half, the Blazers picked up their intensity. They became a more physical team. They took the ball to the basket much better. Their transition game, 15-0 in the third quarter. When you're taking it that way strong to the basket, the officials are going to make the calls. As a result, 26 free throw attempts for the Trailblazers, only 20 for the Celtics. Not that much of a difference.
On the subject of the Atlanta Hawks, a homecoming, Mike.
I'm busy next weekend, I'm sorry.
Will be at the Omni. Michael Jordan and the Bulls go up against the Atlanta Hawks, who have been invincible at home. Mike Fratello Day, I understand the mayor has passed the word on. We'll be at courtside to bring it to you right here on NBC. The Hawks and the Bulls next Sunday afternoon. Here's McHale, and that wraps it. Portland over Boston, 116-107. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Ahmad Rashad for the Boston Garden. Let's go to Bob Costas and Pat Riley back in New York.
Okay, Marv, thanks very much. Before we head out to the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles for part 2 of our doubleheader, the Rockets against the Lakers, Steve Jones and Dick Enberg are standing by to call that. We're going to have a few minutes here in between games to run down the scores of other action around the NBA. We'll have some highlights for you if time allows, so stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Your
home is here with me.
It's my decision to go with Mom.
He left his family. He lost his son's love. Now it's a second chance to win him back.
I'm sorry.
The Summer My Father Grew Up triumphs as a superb and
Now there's a fragrance that brings out the real you.
Tonight.
This week in the NBA, brought to you by the investigative team that's making the next.
This is CNN's This Week in the NBA with your host, Vince Cellini.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to This Week in the NBA. I'm Vince Cellini, and pardon us for possibly jumping the gun, but this afternoon's Sunday matinee action featured a very possible preview of the NBA Finals. Okay, we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but it makes for a good story anyway. Geographically, they are a nation apart, but in terms of victories, only 2 games separated them in the win column. Defending Western Conference champions Portland visiting Boston Garden. The Blazers finding themselves mired in a 4-game losing streak, having gone 0 for 3 on a 4-game trip. But Portland wins this battle of division leaders as an old friend came back to haunt the green. Let's take a look in Boston Garden. This was a scary sight. Brian Shaw driving to the basket in the first quarter, steps on Porter's foot, severely twisted ankle. Did not return to the game. His status, as of now, is not known. On to the third quarter. Larry Bird, who had some trouble shooting in the first half, on fire. Nailed 4 3-pointers in that quarter, 28 in the game. Celtics up by 9. Third quarter, Blazers go on a 16-2 run. Off the steal, Porter to Clyde Drexler, who led Portland with 29 points. And Danny Ainge is putting Chris Ford in his place. Portland by 3 after the 3. It's Ainge again going to work. Comes up with a steal, then Danny Ainge leads the break. Gets the ball back from Clyde Drexler to put it home, and Portland is still clinging to a 3-point lead. Under a minute left now, Blazers by 4, and Cliff Robinson with the ugly headband makes a pretty shot. Red Auerbach, his reaction tells the story. Boston loses this one at home, 116 to 107. Drexler, Porter, and Ainge scored 28 of Portland's 33 fourth-quarter points. The Blazers end that 4-game slide, deal Boston only their 5th home loss of the season. The Blazers are off until next Sunday when they will host Boston in Memorial Coliseum. If you like that game, you'll love the Rockets and Lakers in the Forum. Well, the Rockets loved it anyway. First quarter, L.A. up by 2. Vlade Divac to Vlade Dottie. Picks up the rebound, slams it home. It's 46-all at the half. Fourth quarter now. Houston is up by 3. And look at the hustle by David Wood. Hits the floor, still finds Kenny Smith on the fly. He goes in for the slam, and Houston is up 88 to 83. Later in the final quarter, Rockets by 6. Kenny Smith, who had a real afternoon, loses control. Akeem